already the inventory obsolete that the directors will need to look at. This is affecting them eventually. They have the figures there, they have last year and they have this year.
Right.
So that's something.
So we either will keep it or we not keep it. How we don't say we're not inventory write-downs were not necessarily something that the board should address.
Really? And then look at what inventory might work.
I guess it depends, because remember what I said is that it can be, but normally if somebody point out that there's a problem with, say, inventory, right, and then the board specifically ask you. Our thing is that we're not aware anything that the board specifically ask you for it, so we don't really know why it is there. All right, but if you say, but you can say it for X out and then you write it back again. So in your case, you have to keep it, right? And if you work out a percentage, I am not sure that showing them a percentage there really by if it's said. Can't remember this is a commentary, So the commentary is supposed to shed some light on it. So let's work with it temporarily to say that it has increased. What are you going to tell the board about it? Because wouldn't I be interested as a board? We don't know if it increased over time. It's a 1 year thing.
Even though it increased, the increase is not like significant convention.
Yeah, work out. And remember, I was 2 years with and 1 year I compare with, so we can't say over time. So I'm not sure that.
Sir, you can answer them then.
No, but work with a number. You say you were going to work with a number. Give me the number.
Okay, 3.1%, which is the same.
Right, whatever happened. All right. So let's say you work. You see that it says 3.1%, and you're keeping it, and you want to rewrite it. Though, what are you going to rewrite it and tell the board? Okay, that's what I'm saying. So working out the number don't help. What you have to change it to say if you're going to keep it is that inventory write-down has not changed significantly. If I think it has changed significantly, and that you've got to tell us why. Because we are purchasing more, higher volumes, You can't just tell me that the number has changed to 3%. And as I say, it's 3.1%. It's there already. So I wouldn't write that as a commentary. So it has to be something that has meaning. You see it now? All right. And notice what it says, by the way, pay attention to what it says, by the way. It is in line with the increased stocks held at the store. It's almost like the change is insignificant. That's what they have just said, The change is insignificant. If it is insignificant, why are you giving me as a commentary?
So we're supposed to make the adverse commentary on the first four and then put the new four.
Yeah. So if you tell me, say, there's nothing untoward happening, it's as expected. Tell me something else. I want something else. Tell me something dramatic. So find another one. So even if you think inventory is write-down is a valuable thing to include in there, the commentary is not. All right? That not help nobody. What was your commentary again? Yeah, I would probably say something around the stock counts. That's the stock counts for a percentage of our range have increased. Oh yeah, the restock rate has increased significantly for a significant portion of our range, suggesting that we speak to customers' interest in our products. No. She was saying she had given that as a right. Yeah. She had given that as an idea, and then it would probably make sense here rather than this. because where I use it and give a read, and where I say it approve that our range are attractive. Yeah, that kind of thing. All right. The inventory write down not proving any one of these things.
So it's just because of the mission, that's what I'm hearing.
Yes. So that's why he says in there, he says, we're not happy with it. You should, what you consider to be the crucial aspects of Fruechie's performance. Oh, he said the current commentary is especially weak and he wants a critical assessment of it. He stated that the improved example commentary should consist of 4 points in order to focus attention on what? Key areas. Not all areas, key areas. Key areas that fit this, ties in with this. The well-presented partner really coming there, so, right? But help me make decision.
All right, I would put in the stores in by itself.
Tell me about the stores.
I would just say to the board that we have acquired 4 more stores in the area. We don't mention.
Again.
Separate and apart from revenue, we'll speak up.
Right. Again.
What?
Yeah. So not balling you down with the 4, you know. So that's not the point here. So the point is if you gotta tell me what the 4. Make it mean something to me.
Which may have driven the revenue at where it is, but at the
Thank
same time,
But they should have mentioned that they didn't.
they didn't mention it, so
Right.
I'm thinking that that's a major thing to be mentioned.
Right, but here's what somebody had written, and I'm not know if the person had written it down if you can read it back, but I think we said something to this extent of revenue is up by 10.5% on the previous year, and something like which may have been driven by the 4 new stores, something like that.
Right, so that's somebody else. I wouldn't probably put the store, I put something else, but then at the same time, number 2 probably would be the stores.
And I'm saying,
Tell me what opening the store.
Yeah.
That's what, so I'm gonna go towards the revenue. So I
Right.
can't mention revenue twice?
well, if you tell me if you're keeping revenues up by 10%,
Yeah,
on the
I would
previous
say
year.
it may be as a result because we have marketing going on. So I
Right.
would say based on marketing initiative,
Mhm.
that's going on. And then for note 2, I could also say there have been 4 new stores which may be applicable to the sales also.
The reason why I would say that marketing and change.
Yeah, marketing is consistent, so we don't know. Yeah, so I wouldn't say that.
Why is there 1 point? We have them for that.
But
Remember them.
we just said it a while ago. So the revenue tied to the stores.
At the store, but I hear.
Because we don't know, say,
Anything else? I'm not seeing anything else to tie anything else.
but we just say look for the share. Hold on, tie back to this. Look for the shares. So say something about the shares.
Start sharing them.
But it not there's nothing strong or weak about shares. Just say something about it.
But you don't remember themselves and most of the information can be missing. So you could compare to say that maybe the retail sector X dividend return is this or their percentage of dividend.
All right, but all right. So let's go back to something. You remember we talked about something called total shareholders return, right? Right. I remember how we calculate it. It is all it is the cash you receive in terms of dividend plus the changes in the share price over a period, generally a year, over the original price, the price at the start of the year. All right. So if I get 51, in this case, like 51 cents per share, it's 51. Plus, let's say the share price changed by 5 cents. It will be 51 plus 5 cents, 56 cents over the original price of the share, let's say it's $1. So the shareholders' return will be 56%. Right? You are not required to calculate the total shareholders' return in this case. You just simply write and say the total shareholders' return is in line with, because we don't know the figure, we don't know if it's really in line, is in line with, is above the industry average or below the industry average, and if we want to put a percent by X percent. That's all we're saying. All right? So already I make up stuff here, so you know. But we are saying the commentary here makes more sense than what they have given us. And the reason why the shareholder thing has made more sense is because we are above shareholders. So all I would do if I'm thinking in your spot at your position and say, I need to find 4 new commentaries. I take a look at these breakdowns that I have done. And I just pick 4 from them. And just make up either we can find information there or we can't find information there, we make it up. Because for example, I said our customer experience. Now remember, so we said that not the day, but I want to write this as well. So I said our customer experience remains flat even though we have trained more staff and have done more marketing. Let's say something like that. So, remember, when I get all the figures, so it literally means, exactly. You just write something there. Just write something. Not give up the mark, just write something there. And just write the customer experience. Yeah. And then I look for that one and I said, appearance of the stores. Customers, the percentage of customers who are complaining about the percentage of our stores have increased, and we have not, partly due to the fact that we have not spent any significant amount of money on, what do they call it, maintenance? Or refurbishing, that was the word, refurbishing. See that? We just make up stuff that makes sense. You just pick 4 of them. And that's if you want to use totally different things. Because remember, you can use back some of these if you want. But if you want to use 4 totally different things, pick up something from this. Just make up things. See, 4 or 5 years rather than 4 things I want. Yes, that go use one of them something you can calculate it and then you calculate it and all that something. Let's make up 4 something from 5. And scratch all of them there. Instead I try reword them and get them to fit and all kind of stuff. Let's scratch them and use 4 something. Alright? That's what you do for the narrative. The third one is the calculation of the operational gearing and its implications. We know the formula for operational gearing, right? The one where we tell us that the exam allowed use. We have one for them, and he has admitted that there's one for them. Think about 3 of them. What does use, particularly in this case, it's simple to just use the contribution divided by the PB. Yeah. The PB, the operating profit. All right. So the formula is the contribution, and the contribution is revenue minus cost of sales. All right. So it's the contribution divided by the operating profit. And it is more straightforward in this one, because there are others where I've got total up the costs, all of the costs, and find out which one are fixed costs and put it over the total cost. This one is just the contribution divided by P. It is straightforward, because one, the operating profit is there already for you. And as a matter of fact, the contribution is there for you. You just have to do some adjustments to it. All right? Because they have given us the contribution here as the gross profit, right? We have to do some adjustment. Notice says use appendix 1 and appendix 2. All right? So let's do one example of one. Let's do the actual for X5. All right? So we're going to calculate the Operate. Yeah, in call it. Yeah. In call it operational and sometimes there is operating, whichever one. Use one when using an exam. So this is an operational gateway. Alright? And as we said, the formula is contribution divided by the PBIT, or if you want to call it the operating profit. Alright? And we're going to use just one of the X5 as an example. Look at the contribution for X5. Where is it? 259.2. Which is there? It is the contribution, and it is also there as your gross profit. Alright? 259.2. Look at Appendix 2 now. Appendix 2 says we have additional data and the cost of sales include these items here. For the most part, these items look like they are fixed costs, that's all. Right? Insurance, utilities, and depreciation. Yeah, they might change a little bit on whatever the thing is, but then for the most part, they look like fixed costs. They don't vary with sales volume.
But how depreciation will be not
Next, I look forward to see them had anything about a junior accountant was employed, but you know, kind of honest, I blame the junior accountant, but not junior accountant, nothing there.
I think it can, if I remember, I don't think on financial statement, or we'll show the details, but like the things that are directly relating to the factory.
Oh, what we call it, traceable cost.
Yeah,
They
they kind of
put it in cost of sales.
But if it's business.
Yeah. So but for our purposes, for your APM exam, because it shouldn't be in cost of sales. Alright? So just remember that, so don't apply the 100-point situation in there. Right? You're gonna lose one mark for no reason. Probably not one, maybe half. Right? Yeah?
You do.
In the sense that you don't gain it. All right. So, in other words, what we're saying is, you see, this cost of sale, this contribution that we have here, it has some fixed costs in here, yes. All right. And that is what is here. Because remember, the cost of sales, in other words, the cost of sales bigger than it ought to have been. And so the contribution is lower than it ought to have been. So in our case, we're going to add back the additional stuff. So we're going to put back now 47.8.
Yeah.
Started off so well. All right. 47.1. So 3, 6, 9, 306.3. All right. So this is like we're saying, this is what the contribution should really be. There's another thing there, the staff cost. All right, look at what it says, the staff cost. The employees are paid an annual salary as a fixed sum stated in their contract. Now that fixed sum is would have been a fixed cost. All right, and remember it is stated below it anyway, so it's not a part of the cost of sales anyway. All right. Except for a bonus pool of 1% of revenue, which is divided up between the sales staff who exceed their target revenue. So it has said that there is a portion of the staff's salary that is not fixed. It is variable, right? And because it is variable, it ought to not be included in the fixed cost, but subtracted from the variable portion. All right? And that is 1% of the, what is 1% of the staff costs? Sorry, 1% of revenue, not yet, sorry, yes, revenue, not staff costs. 1% of revenue. So it's 63.8, right? No, 6.38. 10% would be 63.8. 1% would be 6.38. And since we're going to use one decimal point, we can round it up to 6.4. But okay with that? All right. So the bonus. Well, it should be part of the variable, so we're going to take it to reduce the contribution. Sorry, what's that again? 6.4, not 4.6. Is that 299 something? 299. Oh, 0.9. That's the figure, 299.9. All right. So this is the contribution that we're going to put up here. 299.9. And we look at our PBIT, our operating profit for X5, 6, is that 6.7? Am I picking the right one? Yeah. All right. And that should give us our, but as long as you notice that it's very high up here, so it's low down here, so you notice that this is very, very high, which means that this is company's highly geared. All right. Better work on the number yet? Wow, that's a lot. 76, 44.8, since we're used to. All right. Now, what does this tell us? Firstly, if you notice the mention in there, said man saying go on conference and it's a bunch of jargon and you know, I'm a big CEO and I know. All right. So you can't tell him back in a job. You have to tell him what operational gearing means, and basically what it implies. Operational gearing identifies business risk. All right. That may arise due to changes in volume, or in this case, revenue. All right. So it identifies business risk that may arise due to changes in sales volume or sales revenue. It is calculated by dividing contribution, and you can put in bracket sales or revenue minus cost of sales, or divided by the operating profit. All right. For Fruechie, it is 44.8. Suggesting that if there is a significant drop or a significant rise in sales, the operating profit is going to be dramatically affected. Why? Because remember, you still have your fixed cost to pay. All right? So yeah, so changes in volume, sales volume or sales revenue can result in significant changes in your operating profit. So you can move the company from a profitable one to a loss-making one. Just as simple as that, because you have all these fixed costs that you need to pay. Look at, for example, X4. And you can point out, look at the revenue, the actual revenue compared to the X5 revenue. All right? The X5 revenue only changed by 10.5% today. And the operating profit changed by 109.4%. You see that? And that's all there on the sheet. You don't have to worry at all. So it's not any big change in our revenue here. What is that change in revenue? So revenue change over for X5 over X4 by 10.5%. So that's in Appendix 1. And then look at your operating profit, how it changed. 109%. Because remember what is happening because so much of your cost is fixed, as you increase sales, less of it is going out to variable costs. So a lot of it is actually now come to you. So it's less and less variable parts of it to take. Alright? So more and more comes to you. So we need to point out, tell him that anytime he asks you about operational or operating gearing, you must tell us it represents business risk. Alright? Because what that indicates is that your business is at risk of failure. What's the risk of failure? That you cannot pay your fixed costs. Your fixed costs are fixed. And with the operational gearing, when you check it, it might turn out to be a significant portion, which means that if your volume declines, your costs not declining with it, your costs are remains fixed. Alright? And therefore you may not be able to cover those based on the revenue that you have. On the flip side, if your revenue increase, your profit will increase in what's the word I'm trying? So it's not in a matching amount, it's going to go beyond the matching amount. Right? Because a lot of your cost is not variable, it's fixed. Yeah. Because typically variable costs will generally remain the same. It's 40% of your revenue, it will remain at 40% of your revenue quite high. But when it is low, because of your high fixed cost, it means as you increase your income, more of that is coming to you and less to the variable cost. And when more come to you, you can cover the fixed cost. Alright? So that's the implication it has for Fruechie. They need to monitor it because they need to make decisions. Are we in danger of failure? Alright? Questions? And our last one is a nice one. The quote, what gets measured gets done. First thing you're going to do is tell us what it means. Because remember, again, the CEO said, I won't leave a job and again tell. It's like in-laws at the conference. Then you go sit beside somebody bright or that kind of thing, he got you to go and sit here. Right? So, nobody not there to explain. People don't use peer big word. So, he knows that if I feel geniuses back at the office, so he come to honor now the geniuses. I pay on the big money. Tell me what I mean, come and talk about the people there, and again talk like me know it now, and then kind of thing. So tell me what then. Alright? Tell me firstly, what does the quote, what gets measured, gets done? You know, everybody know I didn't so all with me. Use your words. Go ahead. Use your words. Say your words. You don't have to try to remember the book words or anything like that. Just say that in your words.
I don't know. I'll check and see. In order to properly track and trace performance.
All right, then tell me the ideal situation for Fruechie. Okay, what the phrase mean first? What it means? So why should we adopt the idea that it must be set around these? What gets measured gets done. Phrase says why.
Because Stanford, monitoring won't pay attention.
Right. Whatever is monitored or measured, or that is recorded in someone's key performance area, that is what will get done. All right. So so your bosses sit down a year time and these are your key performance areas. Come here in, this is what I'm going to tell you upon. What I'm going to do, you say you want to get, let's not be greedy, you want to get 9.9 out of the 10. Or 4.9 out of 5. Whichever one. Right? Yes. So you are going to make sure you get those areas that have been defined for you, that are put in black and white, done.
So we only do what's reported.
That's and that's one of the main thing about the phrase. It says, if you are measuring the wrong thing, then guess what will get done? The wrong thing. So you get your 9.99 to the wrong thing. That did not help the organization's objectives. So what gets measured, gets done, means persons are going to work very hard to achieve on whatever measures of performance was agreed for them. If those areas were areas that did not add value to the organization or move the organization along the path to achieving its objectives, still don't matter, the market done. All right? So in other words, we need to know, so we come now to Sasha's conclusion, because she gave me the conclusion before she gave me the something. Now we can add the conclusion and say, you need to then make sure say you set performance measures around the right areas, the areas that meets the organization's objectives. All right? So what gets measured gets done. That's literally what it means. But we have a little extension part on it, which is what the marker will be looking for in your script. If the wrong thing is measured, the wrong thing will get done. And that is bad for the organization from two perspectives. One, you just waste the resources and pay bonus to nothing. And two, your performance has nothing harmful. The organization's performance has nothing. That was an incorrect. All right? That but part is the part that the examiner wants to read. All right? So what gets measured will definitely get done because the bonuses are attached to it. However, if the areas are wrong, resources would have been wasted, objectives of the organization not met. All right? And the commentary on the general meaning of the operational gear. That was 3 marks. For the supplement, he never say anything specific, he just say 1 mark per point. Right? So we'll get to this now. But the first part tell us that. All right, and I believe, even though you don't put it there, so I believe we will give you up to 3 marks for it.
Yeah, but that's it. Well,
Yeah, just for that part here. But because the other parts have to do now with the tunnel vision and stuff like that.
4.
Right, so 4 things. So yeah, you will probably get up to 3, probably go 2, second down to 2, and then 2 for the other areas. Yeah. But you might always put up to 3 just in case if you drop off or one, you can pick it up back here. Right? Alright, so what are the other areas that you have? Where is the other areas again? Tunnel vision. So he wants to say how phrases such as tunnel vision, sub-optimization, myopia, and gaming might link to the quote. And in giving it your examples, you want illustration from Fruechie's business. So you know about quotes. Take your quotes example and see if it fit Fruechie example and use it. Yeah, come out in the case, use it. All right, so let's start with tunnel vision. What do I do this? Tell me firstly what tunnel vision means. That's all. Yeah. Right. You only focus on what is getting measured at the expense of other areas. Because other areas now get measured, so you're not going to focus on them. All right?
So when you call the areas, there wasn't necessarily intrinsic.
Oh, yeah, yes. All right?
Other areas that we have intrinsic
Value. Right. So, tunnel vision, you only focus on the areas that are being measured and you ignore any other area. No matter if they have quote unquote intrinsic value. All right, we ignore it. Because it not depend me key area, so I call it key responsibility areas. Right? Which, by the way, sometimes when we say this is above my pay grade, at the same behavior I take the say, yeah. Because when I say it not depend me key area, looking at my job description, if it right, it not there, so I ain't looking at it. And we're going like say, a tunnel vision that way I use here. So. Alright? So, one of the top say it.
You want to stop saying the truth? For anything to mean you don't know, it's legit above my head.
Okay.
What am I doing?
You go and contact someone. So you're going to solve it now with a make a link.
So say me and me additional work.
And
Then not pay for it.
then not pay for it, no. And not judge you for it. Although, the baby, yeah.
But no, what does the baby wrong?
Mhm.
Okay, so I might lose money.
All right, so that is tunnel vision. Tell me if tunnel vision is linked to the phrase what gets measured gets done. Yeah. It's like if what gets measured gets done was a phrase, tunnel vision is different. Yeah. All right. Do we see any example of it in Fruechie? Now this one again, like don't you know, you might have to go really stretch your brain. So if you look on what you learned so far and see if you can say, because they may not explicitly tell us that there was an example of it, but you can say, if this is happening, it could be because of conjugation. All right. So we can look back on the commentary, we can look back on the figures, we can certainly those first because those are our measures, right? And then see if it suggests that there could be. So for example, let's go back to the stores, the 4 stores. Mm-hmm. They might expand the stores because what do you think gets measured? The overall revenue, not the revenue per store. So they might hide behind it.
And you always talk about margin.
And it's all about the margins, yes. And so they will try to fix it up so that the margins look good. What gets measured gets done. So they're not looking at other things. So for example, look at what is not being measured here. So the appearance of the stores. What's the appearance of the store? Now, we don't know, but chances are if it not get measured, it not get done. And it's important to this.
But would bring that in a television right now.
Yeah, it depends on where you want to be. But it doesn't show you say, but the point general is just what gets measured gets done. Since they're not interested in this, it not gonna help this. And then if you don't measure this anyway. Alright? Alright, so that's how we do it. We give a definition. Alright. We say yea or nay with a little bit more words than yea or nay. Whether it is linked to the quote, and then we say we find anything that we can do for Fruechie as an example. Even if we have to make it up, we know the Fruechie scenario, and so we just can make up the example. All right. What's the next one? Sub-optimization. What is sub-optimization? What is sub-optimization? What is sub-optimization? Okay. And now when I sit down and go in a book and I'm going to say, look at that book. Gotcha.
So it says many new clients may be a detriment. No, I'm sorry.
Parts of the organization is optimized in isolation, resulting in reduced overall efficiency and performance.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I get, so sub-optimization is a performance that kind of it in a way.
Which does not
Is that no? It's not truly tunnel vision. It is not getting the best performance for the organization. All right, it is not getting the best performance for the organization. But here's the tricky thing about what causes sub-optimization. The wrong measures being chosen. Yeah.
That's what gets measured.
Because it's what gets measured gets done. Yeah. So sub-optimization is because of the incorrect measure. Mm-hmm.
So basically not following the objectives.
So not following the objectives, yes. Or all the objectives, yeah. Yeah. All right. So you're gonna come up now with some measures, and most of them will probably not relate to what you really want to do. And as such, persons perform well in those areas, but the organization is not benefiting. All right. So yes, that kind of, the minute you hear us say that, it means that sub-optimization is connected to the quote, what gets measured gets done. All right. Can we find something? I know Sasha was saving some because she never want to use all of them in a tunnel vision and that kind of thing. So, you would say a while ago, said, no, use that one here. So which one are we using on sub-optimization? Again, just make up something. Stores could be a nice little sub-optimization there, because at the wrong decision, at the wrong measure, they're not using and therefore making the wrong decisions. Yeah, it's like they're thinking that just opening more stores will give them more profits. What else didn't we say something about tunnel vision too? Somebody talk about one, whatever.
About the revenue, about focusing on revenue.
Yeah, focusing on the revenue at the expense of other things. For tunnel vision, we could have said, instead of the stores, we could have said focusing on the revenue instead of saying the customer experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And sub-optimization could be that you're looking at opening new stores instead of, say, the attractiveness, or even from the shareholders' perspective, that each of them must return profitable figures so that they can pay the shareholders competitive dividends. Stuff like that. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna share them around like that. That's a tricky thing. You see, them kind of question, yeah, a lot of the examples them kind of have around the same kind of thing. You have to look very carefully how you split them. All right, and what angle you're looking at each one from. What is myopia? Short-sightedness, yes. Right? Right. And we say that they are very short-termist because we're not seeing a future things. We're not seeing a trend analysis. 2 years we get the past year and the current year. Short term. So they're not focusing on any long-term growth and development and that kind of thing. All right, that one was easy. Yeah, and myopia, yeah, technically myopia can be connected to what gets measured. So, right? Yeah. In a way, it's like sub-optimization. And if sub-optimization is connected, then the one that can be connected. Yeah, some sort of connected, yeah. But that gaming now is gaming connected. That's it, doing a gaming is coming. We're not gonna write that, of course. Right? Gaming is you pretending almost, cook the books. You pretend as if you do the thing when you never really do it. Right? Or you achieve the target when you never really achieve the target. Right? So if you notice, you're not getting anything done, so it's not tied to the what gets measured, it gets done because they're gaming and not doing it. You want to pretend like you're doing it. And you fix up the books. Right? So gaming is not connected to the measure. All right? Because gaming actually is almost like we want to say you're not really doing anything. You just make it look like you do things.
But would you still do like someone from
I was trying to think of one there when I look at the number. Which one you see? Donnie?
Yes. When she said, the fact that they weren't consistent with the formula. If you look at revenues increased by 10.5, but the cost of sales increased by 7.5, but they never put it.
Well, I never put it. Yeah.
Artifacts and then say the revenue increased, but then they never bring relation to the fact that
right.
In the public.
But even look at the gross profit margin. That probably is, even though it's just a little bit, but if you notice, it's a game in them, I try game with. Where them say the gross profit margin was held at 41%. No, it was not held at 41%. They lie. What was it? It was 40.6 or something like that. About. It was held at 41%. Right? Because guess what? The 41% look better than 40.6. Give me that. Scammers. Right? Only thing missing is for them to put on the accent.
So this guy, this guy on the road, I don't know his name, but like you have an accent like him talking to this like something even about going on a script right now.
Oh yes, I think this is yes.
No, like him.
Our name Tabby King or something like that. I don't want to do
Yeah,
I don't know him there.
Oh, it's an actual person give?
He's not actual man, not man, but in.
Oh, okay. I saw one where Caviar or something like same name. In the do right. King that right, yeah.
He must have been right now.
In the year.
I find it very funny, but not even thinking very 100%. Probably that's how I find it so funny.
Yeah, look, I think
Everything is bipolar.
right? So you just pretend to do something, right? Or you pretend to achieve something. And remember, this phrase says, what gets measured gets done. But in this case, what gets measured is not being done. Yeah. So gaming is not tied to. All right? They want to pretend that they have gotten it done. All right. Oh, really? You might be accent here. Gotcha. All right, guys, I'm going to send you a link in the WhatsApp group and in your email to the online exam. It's just a 50-mark section A question. That, yes, can we done before Wednesday. I want like a free trial for that one. It's going to expire. So, yeah.
Done before Wednesday.
Right, yeah. So, we didn't use a free trial plan them before I'm going to go back. And then we come back on and them say, oh, long time no see her. Maybe a little short time. So we say,
Each time is a long time. Next week is
So next week is the last Wednesday, and next week Saturday is the last Saturday before workshop.
Okay. So Wednesday coming is the last one.
It's the last Wednesday. Yes. I don't sound like on a deer,
Sasha is there.
We're
Right?
We are there.
Yeah.
We are there.
And Donnie, if you're there, no man, you love doubt yourself, so. Mhm. Exactly. And no negativity. Exactly. Yeah. So you can